Hi, it's Jamie, and what I wanted to do today is show you how to finish off some of your pressed pieces. So, I don't know if you can tell or not, but you can see the pattern in here. It's a floral pattern, and the ends are kind of rough. And normally I finish these, if I'm not putting anything on the ends, just with my finger or whatever, sponge. But I've let this get to be leather hard, and that's important for this technique that I'm going to show you today. So I have two pieces and two different techniques I'm going to show you. So to prepare the piece, I'm going to use my scoring tool and just go around. And then I'm going to add some slip. Now I take this strip of clay. It's about a 1/4 inch thick and a 1/4 inch wide or so, and I'm going to put this around the edge here. Make sure it's centered on here. And this slab is, the pressed slab is about a 1/4 inch thick as well. And next I'm just going to moisten my fingers and take out some of that texture from the canvas on the edge. And this is my roller stamp. It's got flowers on it, and I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, I'm going to roll this around the edge here. Now sometimes what happens is when you're going around a curve with the rollers, it'll make some of the little pieces of the petal stick up. So I'm just going around and pushing them back down again. So now you can see what it looks like. The next one is similar, but I'm not going to use a roller stamp for this one. I'm just going to use little stamps that I already have. And this one's a little bit smaller, just because when I'm using a stamp, I don't need to. This one, it has a deep groove in it, so I needed to use more to capture the whole flower. But I made this one a little bit thinner. Now these coils that I'm putting on here are wet coils, and I'm putting them onto the leather hard clay, and I'm only scoring one side because the other side is wet clay. And what I will do is once I'm done putting these textures on here, I'll put them under plastic so that they can become the same moisture content before I start to let them dry. So I have this little set of stamps, cute, and there's one on here, a leaf, and that's what I'm going to use on here. So what I'll do is I took a little WD-40 and put it on a sponge, and then I'll just tap that in there. And now I'll just go around the rim. And when it starts getting tacky, then I'll dip again. Alright, I think I'm going to try that out, see if I like it. I didn't plan on cutting that extra stuff away, but I felt like it needed it. But I kind of like the way it left the edges with an interesting texture. So we're going to see how that works out. Alright, so if you're interested in doing the rollers, I have a video on how to do the roller stamps. But I wanted to show you how I get from point A to B to C, how I create for my master. My master starts out, it could be anything. I could make something myself up, or in this case, I wanted to show you how I worked with these forms here. So this is stuff that you find in the cake section, the fondant molds. And I like this guy here, I like this guy, and I want to turn them into roller stamps. So what I do is I have my glue gun, and I have these sticks right here. They're from Mod Podge, and you might be able to get away with using just glue. You don't have to buy these, but I ended up buying a bunch of this kind of stuff from Mod Podge, so I just got the melts for it. And so that's what I used here, and I just filled these in here. That's what this is right here. So it takes about 10-15 minutes, and then it firms up, and then I just pull it out, and voila. Now I can use this as my master form. So this is another one from here. And I don't yet have a mold for this, so I'm going to show you how I would build the mold for this, which will eventually turn into a roller stamp. So I'm going to take my piece here, and I'm going to gently press it in. And I'm going to take a little bit of the WD-40 that I had on here, or cooking, you could use the cooking spray, whatever release agent works best for you in your molds. So I'm going to put some of that on there, and then I'm just going to put the clay around it like this. And what I'm doing here is I'm creating clay cottles. And these are going to be strong enough for the amount of plaster that I'm using. So I use clay cottles a lot. For bigger items, of course, you have to use wood or metal. But it's nice using the clay because it just peels right off, and then you don't have to put a release agent on the clay. You do have to put a release agent on the plastic that you're pushing into the clay. Alright, so there's my clay cottle. So I'll fill that with plaster, and then when I'm done, I'll have something that looks like this. So this is the result of this being cast. So I would just, take this out when I'm done, when this is finished, and now I have this form. Then what I can do with this form here is fill it. So I'm going to stuff some clay in here. Take a look. So now that I have this part, this is what I can turn into the roller stamp. Now when I do my roller stamps, I like to have them close, so I'm going to trim off a lot of clay here. That one got a little uneven, so I'm going to trim it back. Alright, there we go. So I'm just using a little bit of water to make it stick. Then I'm going to reshape back into a circle. I'm almost there. Just want to make sure the walls are vertical. And this is where I'm getting into some of the stuff from my other video. But I'm going to repeat this here. So I'm going to stick this on top of here. I'm going to put a little extra clay at the seam. And then I'm just going to put a little extra support around the wall here. It's a seam for the plaster not to come out. And the final touch is the straw in the middle. And this you also want to put a release agent on. And now I have 2 sets of molds for my next pour. So, that's what I did with this one here. This one, as soon as it's poured, I will repeat the process to create the roller stamp. And you know, you don't have to use, I mean, I got this. These are fun to do, but these are expensive. Another fun idea is to go get wood trim. So I've done the same thing here. So I have this, which I poured a mold of, and then from there I went ahead and I made a roller stamp. And that's what that looks like. And as you can see, there's all different fun ones you can do. This shape, this one extra huge. And I've been using a lot of these in my work now. It's just really, really fun and enriching to your pieces. So that's what I do, and or that's what I did, and I hope you try it. Have fun with it, and catch you next time. Thanks.